Hi everyone, I am Sai Krishna, an experienced full stack developer from India. I'll be the instructor for this project. In this project, we aim to guide intermediate developers in creating dynamic movie recommendation app using Next.js. This project will walk you through setting up a new Next.js project, retrieving data from external APIs, and implementing user-friendly features such as search bar and sorting movies by some filter. So the final product will be an engaging application where user can have some preferences and they can get movies based on the preferences, and they can get some recommendations for a particular movie and so on. So by the end, you will have broadened your proficiency in creating feature-rich applications using Next.js. Let's get ready into the world of dynamic web application development. So let's get started. So before building the project, let's see like what we'll build by the end of the project. So this is what we'll be building. So I have we will create something like movies DB, which is very similar to IMDb or TMDB site. So this is what we'll be building by the end of the project. So this is movies DB, which is very similar to IMDb or TMDB. So this is the home page, and in the home page, we will show the most trending movies which are going right now. So we will have a list. So these are the most trending movies right now, and we will show the banner and then the title of the movie and then some description, and each description may be like longer or shorter, so we maintain so we have this overflow feature so that all the movie cards will be in the same height. And then we have search feature. So if you are interested in Harry Potter movies and if you want to search some Harry Potter movies, so you can enter Harry and then you can click on search. When you click on search, you get this title like this, and then you get all the movies which are like similar to this word Harry. So you can see in this word, also this movie also has this um Harry Brown and Shab Harry Met Sejal. So these movies also have Harry. So we are seeing some other movies as well, but yeah, we will get the movies which are related to this word Harry. And we also have this sorting functionality. Suppose if you want to sort the movies by release year, then you can do that. And you can also filter by popularity, and then you can also sort by ratings. So this works wonderfully. And then you can actually go to a particular movie. Suppose if you're interested in this particular movie, then you can click on it and you will see a bigger picture of that. And you will see the title and the release date, the language, and the status, whether it's released or not released, and then the genres. And here we see some description, and down we see some recommendations. Suppose for this particular movie, we see recommendations for the related to this movie. For example, if I go to some other movie, for example John Wick, then you see some other movies. So this is completely dynamic. We are getting the data from TMDB APIs, so it will be completely dynamic. So let's start building this project. So first thing we have to do is like we have to open your file explorer. Go open your file explorer and then create a folder for your project. So in my case, I'll open my terminal and then I will just do documents. And here I will create a new project, source code. We'll just go to the source code folder. Just zoom it a bit. Yeah. And I'll open this inside VS Code. So here, and then Just open the terminal using control tilde, or you can open from here, and then you can create a new TypeScript project. So for this, you need Node.js installed in your computer. Once you have Node.js and npm, so you can check that using npm version. So you get this npm version. So you have npm. Once you have npm, just enter this command npx create next app, and you can give it some name. For example, in my case, I'm giving it movies underscore db. And this is how you create a new Next.js project, and this will be the project name. So it will take some time. Yeah. Okay, do you want to use TypeScript? No, I just want to keep things simple. No, I don't want Tailwind CSS. I don't want source directory because I want to use the app folder, and then app router. We need it. Yes, and then no. So this will create a new Next.js project, and you can see. So as of now, we have Next.js 14. So that is the latest version available at the time of recording this course. So we will cover out latest features, whatever that's there with a new Next.js. So yeah. Hello. Okay, so our Next.js project is created. So let's go to the folder. So cd movies or db, and you could see the list. Now you can enter the command npm run dev, and you can see the commands in package.json. So these are the commands available. So I'm just running the dev command for starting development server, and this is the URL available. And I just go here, and it's opening. Yeah. So this is the so our server is working fine. So first thing, let's go to app/page.js, And let's remove all the boilerplate code. I don't want this, and remove it. And here we can just maintain a div, and then we'll just write hello world. Like, I'll just keep this here because it looks easy. Okay. Then let's just remove the CSS because I don't want the dark background. I mean, whatever the styles come from globals.css, I don't want it. We will write our own CSS. Okay. And page.module.css. Need this as well. In terminal, yeah. Refresh. Yeah. So for CSS, I will use Bootstrap. I want to use Bootstrap because it makes things a lot simpler and you can build things a lot faster. So let's install Bootstrap using npm I bootstrap. So Bootstrap is installed. Let's run the server again and go to layout.js. So this is the layout component which will be applicable. Like this layout will be applied on all the routes inside this app folder. So this is the main layout file. So here we can add Bootstrap like the file. So import bootstrap slash test slash css slash bootstrap dot min dot css. So this is how you import Bootstrap, and you can check it by let's just go to the div, and then here let's create a new button, and class name will be button primary. Save. Okay, refresh. Some reason it's taking a lot of time, but yeah, Bootstrap styles are applied. Failed to download enter. I think there is some network issue. Yeah, it will be back, so it's fine. So yeah, we have Bootstrap styling, and let's check out the layout component first. So these are the main files. So whatever that's present inside the app folder, we'll be working with them, and rest of them we don't have to work on them. We don't have to touch them for this project. So let's check out the app project. Sorry, app folder. So inside that we have favicon.ico. So if you replace this file with some other icon file, then you will get your own logo over here. And then we have globals.css, which will be applied over the whole page. So if you want to add some custom css, you can add it here. And then we have layout.js, which is the main layout. Suppose if I just change the title here, suppose I just give it like home or movies tv, save, and this title will be changed. Then we have description. Yeah, this is good. And then we have page.js. So this is like the index page. So whatever that's there inside the page, it will be rendered inside the index page. Suppose if you want to create some new page, then you have to create a new folder. For example, we have a list of movies here, and then if you want to retrieve a specific movie details, then suppose you have a route like localhost 3000 slash movies slash some ID, for example, 5122 or something like that, the movie ID. Suppose if you want to retrieve movie details in a page, then you can just do it like this. So first I'll create a page. Sorry, I'll create a folder inside this app folder. And then inside this, I will create, as it will be a dynamic route, I'll just create a new folder ID. And then inside this, I will create page.jsx because it will return JSX. And then we can write our own components. Suppose RFC, then this will be movie details page. Sorry, save, then turn. If I just go to this page, like slash movies and some ID, let's say 45, enter. Yeah, you go to this page. So that is how you work with the dynamic routes in the new Next.js. So this is the recommended way to do things. Previously, we used to have separate pages folder, and then there we used to create things. But now you can just create folders inside the app folder, and then you can create this page.jsx kind of files. For example, if you have some other like route, then you can create that folder first, and then inside that you need this page.jsx. So that is how Next.js like understands that it's page. So first, let's work on the main page. So here we need this. So if you remember the project which I did the showcase, you will see a search bar over here, and then you must be having some cards over here. So it will be like two parts. So initially we'll have a header. So the header will contain a navbar over here on the top, and the navbar, the header will be there for all the pages. So the header should be inside the layout component because it should be there in for all the pages, and then we will have the like other pages rendered in from these pages. So let's work on the header first. Uh, inside the layout.js, we want the header to be over here above the body. So it's not good thing to have it about the body. Instead, we can do something like we can just create a new main component. Then we will put this children over here, and then inside above this main component, we will have the header component. So header component is not yet created. So let's create a new folder inside app folder called components. And then here you can create a file called header.jsx. And here I'm using ES7 snippet. So you can install the extension, then you will get this particular feature. So this is header component. And now I can import the header component, save, and you should see a header over here. But the header will actually should actually look like uh, actual header. So let's go to bootstrap.com, and from here we will get the code for header. So inside this, just go to docs, and here we will search for navbar, and then here we will go with second components navbar. This is good. And here we will go with an icon, and then uh, the search button. Yeah, we'll go with this one. So copy the code, then come back and go to the header component and just paste it inside here. Save. And here we will change the class to class name because this is JSX class name, and then input must be self-closing. save. And then if I go back here, it looks like the actual header which I did show on the showcase. So for the styling, I want it to be in the dark theme. So here I will just go to the color schemes and I will select these classes, not the classes. I'll just select the whole thing and then I'll go back and here I'll just replace it. And you have to rename this class to class name, save. And now you get a dark header. This looks good. And let's change the link. Here I want it to be like movies db, save. And I want some like I want this to be like Next.js link, because if I click on this link, because there is no href as of now, so let's create a href slash. So wherever you are, suppose if you are in some see if you're in movies dot slash 45, if you click on this link you will go to the home page. So because of this href, so we want this thing to work it like that, to work in that way. And then this a should be Next.js link, because if you click on this link you can see the page is actually refreshing, because this is not at all good, because if the page is refreshing then it has to load all the bundles, like JavaScript bundles which are required for the site, and it is not a good way to do things. So the main benefit, one of the main benefit that comes with a Next.js link is like you don't have to, like, the page won't be refreshed. Instead it will be like things will like the page will be changed without reloading, so you don't have to the client don't has to have to reload all the bundles. So that is very good in terms of user experience. So yeah, you can see that it's not reloading now. And the search button, we have to keep track like what the user is actually entering, and we have to do the search button functionality, but we will do that later. First of all, we'll work on the main homepage. We will see like how to get the data here, and then we will work on the search functionality. So first thing we need to do is we have to go to TMDB API. There we have to create a new API key. Then we can like get the data from APIs. Otherwise, we won't be able to get the data. So search for TMDB API and then go to the page, this page, developer dot the moviedb.org, and then here second load. Okay, this is actually opening the developer guide, but I want to go to some other link, tmdb.org. And then here just go to the settings. This problem refreshing the results. I think I need to connect to VPN. Okay, it is all connected. Okay, refresh. Go to settings. And then here, go to API section. You'll find your API key. If you haven't created a TMDB account, then just go ahead and create a new account. Then just you'll get a new API key. Otherwise, you can just create a new API key here. Once you get your API key, just copy it. um, and then inside this uh, directory, create a new file called .env. This is mainly used for storing API keys or any private information. So we'll store it here. And then is it inside? No, it is not inside this folder. Let's keep it inside this. Okay. Then we will just uh, like next public API key. Then we will store it here. So instead of hard coding our API key like from the code, we will just access it from here. This is mainly useful when you are storing code in some repository, public repository, because you won't push this .env file, and so users won't be like whoever is watching your code, they can't see the actual API key. That is actually good. So once you create that, let's create a new folder here called utils. And this is where we will actually create functions for making API calls. And then inside this, let's create a file called request.js. And inside this, we will write our main functions, like which get the data. For example, I need a function for getting movies, list of movies, like the trending movies, because if you remember in the showcase, initially on the homepage, we are actually rendering the trending movies. So we need a trending movies list, and then we need another API for getting specific movie details. Suppose if we click on some link on any movie, then we need to get the movie details. So for that purpose, we need another API for getting specific movie details. And also we need an API for search feature. Suppose if we enter something, and then if we click on search, then we need the details to come like whatever that's related to the word. So we need that as well. So these are the main API, main APIs which are actually used. So let's create like some functions for getting data. So if you go to I'm TMDP API, in the API reference section, you'll find a lot of APIs. So these all are APIs. For example, I was talking about trending movies. So I can just search for movies. And here you can see this, there is this thing like get the trending movies on TMDB. I click on this, then you actually get the API. So this is actually making a request from shell. If I search on Node, or I'll search for JavaScript, and you can see the code. Suppose if you want to call this API, then you have to write code like this, and you have to pass token like this. Suppose if I'm not passing like this header, like authentication, if I'm not doing authorization, suppose if I have API key, then I won't be using this access token. So in that case, I will just select the second option, API key auth. Then you will see this thing gets changed. So this is how you actually make the request. So similar way, you have other APIs for actually getting a lot of information. So if you want some specific thing, suppose if you want to implement some new feature in your project, then you can use these APIs. You can go through documentation, you can go to the JavaScript section, and you can check the URL and how the request is actually made, and then you can put it inside your utils function, and then you can call it in your front end pages. So let's actually get, or let's actually write the function. So I already have all the APIs. So based on this code, I have actually um, so based on this code, actually I gathered all the logic and I kept it in a single file. So this is the code, and then we don't need types. Just remove this. Okay. So API key. So we are getting this API key from this env file. This is how we get it. So we call process.env, and then we call the variable name. So then we get the API key and then the base URL. So let's create a variable for base URL. So next public base URL, and then I will just put the URL. So this will be the base URL. This is the common one. Copy and then IDNV, just paste it. So when API call is made, so it takes the base URL from here, and then it will append all this other string, and then it will make an API call. So these are the main functions. So one, we have this get trending movies function. So this API is mainly used for getting the trending movies. The API I just showed here. So we'll be using this API for this get trending movies, and then we have get movies. So get movies actually gets us like the movies based on search. For example, if user makes some search, then uh, this the search part will be the query. Suppose user search for Harry, like the movies related to word Harry, then the query will be Harry, and it will hit the this particular API, and this function will return the movies related to the query. And then we have get movie details. Suppose if user clicks on a particular movie, then we have to retrieve the details of a particular movie. So for that, we will use this function. So this function takes id as parameter, because every movie will have an id. So when user clicks on it, so the movie details will be fetched based on the movie id. So that is why we have this get movie details function. And then we have get similar movies. Suppose if you remember in the showcase, if you click on a movie, you won't just get the movie details, but you also get the similar movies. So that is why we have this API. So these are the APIs which we need for this project. So let's start using these APIs in our project. So let's go to the page.js, and inside this, let's start using the APIs. So just go, I'll just remove the button. We don't need this. And instead of this, I just want this to be like homepage, just because I just want to maintain my pages like with the page extension. And then here, let's create a variable const movies, and we have to get the movies using this function get trending movies. So we'll call this function, and it doesn't take any parameter, so we don't have to pass any parameter. And then we will store the movies over here, and then save. And then here we will just run first. We'll have some heading like top trending movies, and then we will save. And inside this, we will take the movies from here, and then we will call map function, which will get each movie. And then for each movie, we will return a card component for something like movie.id for now. .id save. So there is some issue. What is the issue? Expected dot dot. Okay, for example, if I okay, good. But the problem is movies.map is not a function because this will actually return a promise because there's an asynchronous function and we are making a fetch call inside it. So for getting the data, we have to call await. But there goes another problem. So this await is throwing error because this is not an asynchronous function. So it should be like for default async function homepage. Then inside that we should have await, and then we have lot of IDs. So we are getting IDs. For example, if you want to get titles, then you can have title, save, and you're getting all the titles. And we have to maintain all each title for each movie separately. So for doing that, we will create some card components. So inside components folder, we will create a new file called card.jsx. And then here we will create our card component. So same way, rfce, and then at this first we will have like div, and then should be like a link. We need another div. I'll just close this, then I'll just put it here. Here we need, and the source will be movie dot sorry movie dot path, but I'm not sure of the exact name, so let's check it. So if you go to the TMDB API, and then if I just click on try it, then it will give me some response. I don't know why it is taking a lot of time. Sorry, could not be authenticated. Let's go with the access token. Valid API key. You must be granted a valid API key. Not sure why that error is coming. So TMDB is actually not working in India, so I have to connect through VPN. So TMDB is actually not working in India, so I have to use some VPN. Okay, to VPN. Then now let's refresh. Then just try this API reference slash trending movies. Yeah, this is the route. And then here I'll just click on try it. And there you go. This will be the response. So there's not visible, like there's not properly visible. So I'll just open this code, create a JSON file inside components. I don't want to keep just for showing you guys. I'll just keep it response.json, save. Yeah, this is how the data will be. So you can see there is a main list here, and inside that you have results, and then inside that you have this movie, like a list, like this each object is for each movie, and for each movie you have adult, just to know, these are the properties. So backdrop path, title, id, original language, original title, overview, which is description, then poster path means the image which you see in, for example, I'll just show you guys what it actually means. So moviedb.org, if I go here, so you can see this images over here, and so this is the path which is actually written here, the poster path. So poster path is nothing but this one. When you click on it, it actually goes and it actually gives you some other image, like the backdrop. So that is the backdrop path. So they're just giving you the extension. So if I go here and if I just see the fast text, you can see the fast text over here, inspect. And then if you check the source, it's like t/p/ this one / this particular URL. But inside the response, you are just having this particular extension. So you have to hard code this particular like this URL, like whatever that's before, you have to hard code it, and this one as well, because it is like a relative path. So inside our card, let's create a new variable called const image base URL, which will be common for all the images, and it should be like this slash this particular path. So I'll just copy this path, copy the image data URL, paste it here. Okay, there is some issue. Let's copy this particular path, save, and remove the slash. Yeah, this will be the image URL, and from the API we are getting the extension, like we can just remove the slash as well. Yeah, this will be the base URL, and then inside this image source we can just use this call, this poster path. So just call poster path, save. But if you open our front end, like here, you will get an error. Refresh. Okay, it is actually not calling the card component. So let's call the card component. Let's import it. And now you're getting an error because you go and check here. You are just referencing the movie, and movie is not coming from anywhere. So it has to come from prop. So I'll just pass it to movie, round it with curly braces. Then yeah, that is fine. Link is not defined. So let's import the link, next slash link, and no error. Okay, there is some error. Prof href expects a string. Okay, there is no href, and it should be like slash movies slash movie.id. So what this actually does is nothing but, so if you have a list of movies over here which are invisible right now because you just have image and the image is not getting rendered, but if you click on some image, then it goes to slash movies slash the ID of the particular movie. I click here, then it goes to some other ID. So that is what we are doing here. We are passing the href like that. And then here image, it should be like image base URL plus movie dot poster path. And now you should actually see image. Yeah, now you can see we have all the images, but they are actually coming, they are like vertically. I want them to be stacked horizontally. So for doing that, I can just put all of them inside a flex box. So here card, not here. So we are actually rendering here. So I'll just flex, deflex, and they are stacked horizontally. But you can see they're stacked like this. I don't want them to go like that. I want the extra titles to come at the bottom. So I can just like uh, flex, wrap, save, and now you can see titles are coming like this, but there is no space between them. So for adding some space, I can just gap 3, just give some gap like that. Yeah, this is looking good. So if you click on each movie, it goes to the particular slash movie slash ID. You can see the ID gets changed. So let's work on the card component. It is just giving us image, but we want it to show more details. So for doing that, just let's add some classes. So okay, we have image and we need title as well. So here, after this image tag, another div h5 dot title, save dot overview. Save. And you have this like the text and the description. Let's refresh. This is not looking good. The description is actually, it is, all of them are like links because it is inside a link component. All of them have an underline. So for removing the decoration, you can just you can add a class here. Class name text decoration, and now you don't have any text decoration here. You can add some styling. So for the image, so I don't want this to take the entire space because it is a div and it has a lot of content. So I just want to restrict it. So first I will give it some class name because this is a card. I'm putting it inside a card class, and then I'll just give some normal styling. Where I will mention like 15 RAM, save, and there you go. All of the cards have some specific width, so they're not taking the entire space. But there is one problem, and you can see the description is not same for all the cards. For some cards it is more, and for some cards it is very less. So it is causing this text to overflow. It's not overflowing, it's actually unequal. So let's keep some height and then let the text overflow inside the container. So for doing that, we can just go here, the paragraph, then let's add some classes. Should be card text and overflow by auto. Okay. Okay, but we have to give some width, style, and sorry, not width. We have to give some height. So I'm giving it 150 pixels. Save. And now you have the text inside this container, and you can scroll through the extra text. So this is looking good, but the styling is not looking right. So let's fix it. So first of all, inside as it is a card component, we have to mention the classes properly. It should be a card body, and you can see there is facing now. Then card, and then here add some classes like for image class name card. Okay, it's not doing anything, so it's fine. Card title. It's just for like if these are actually the normal classes which you use inside a card, like when you use Bootstrap. So I'm just keeping them in case if some styling gets missed. They can be added using these classes. So that's it for the card component. Uh, and let's add some padding over here. This is looking very odd. So let's go to page, and here just putting it inside container first, because right, and then I will just give some margin y as 3, and okay, if I keep it in home page, yeah, this is good. uh but this is actually taking a lot of space. uh I'm not sure like why the card is not coming. I think the gap, if we reduce it. Okay, so let's leave it for now. Let's work on the search functionality. So we have, okay, let's work on the, so yeah, this is actually looking good. So let's work on the retrieval page. Suppose if you click on the movie, it goes to this particular URL, and then you want the details of the particular movie. So let's work on this page. For example, here we have created this page. This is where we have to edit our code. So at starting, let's call the movies function. For example, as we are actually as the, so this is where we have to write our code. So as this is the URL, and inside query parameter we have this ID, movie ID. So we have to first get the movie ID, and then we have to make an API call inside this function. So for getting this ID from parameters, you can just call params from props, and then you can just get the ID. For example, if you want the ID dot ID, I won't save it now. Now I will save it, and there you go. You're getting ID that's present inside the URL. That is how you get the ID. So we have to make an API call. So if you go to request, you have this get movies, which gets all the movies based on the query. Not all the movies, which gets a specific movie details based on the query. Suppose if you search for Harry, then it gets the movie details based on this. And if you go to request.js and you have this get movies here, suppose if you go to request.js, you have this get movie details function, and it takes id as parameter and it will return the movie details. So we have to call this get details, and yeah, that's the function for the details. And the same way to update, let's call this async. We'll get movie details. If check that, save, and then success. Okay, the resource you requested could not be found. Okay, we have to pass the id. So params dot id, save, and then there you go. You're getting movie details. So from this, we'll just edit the HTML. We'll take the data and we'll show it to the user properly. Then here I'll just maintain adding by 4. First, it will have, so we will have source the same way we did for the card component. We'll just variable called is URL. Just copy, save, and then get them. Put the case URL plus details tag path, save. You could actually see an image here. Okay, you're getting the image, and then get out div. Then have for getting title. So they will have title on the top. We want the title to be here, but as there are two separate divs, they are actually coming down to each other. So for getting them like side by like in the same row, we can just make it a flex box. So here can create another div. Sorry, alt video div plus flex, and now you will get these divs flex in vertical horizontal fashion. Then I want the title to be in the center. So let's do it. Line comes center, and here I just want to give I want to give this type like the image 3 blocks out of 12 blocks. I'll just put column 3, and then class 5. Yeah, and inside this we have h title, and then we have details, date, date. So I know all that information because of this response. So you can check this response. You will see all the fields, whatever I'm using here. And then now here, it is not movie underscore details. And save. And then, okay, here we have the state, the language, and then the title. And this is good. Uh, but as per the styling, I just want all of these things to have some like box kind of thing, so that it looks neat. So did I forget something? Yeah, I need one more thing. So release date, original language, and also I want the release status. Add it here. Details dot status, save, and there you go. And I want all of these 3 things to come in horizontal way. So again, let's wrap all these things in a flex box. Then here I'll create a new class. I'll just get the flex save, and they are very close. And also I just want to give some box kind of thing, so so that they look neat, like a button. So let's give class py warning white and two rounded save. Yeah, this is looking neat. Let's make it full screen, or let's do one thing. Yeah, after this we'll just create another div in details. I want all the genres to come down in the horizontal way again. So for getting genres, I'll just do movie details dot genres dot map, and here I will get genre. For each genre, I'll return an element which will have genre dot name save. And why is this error coming? Because it is not ended properly. Yeah, and you can see the genres are coming, but let's give some styling. Same way, on dark, and 2 save. And it will actually throw an error because this is a span element. And also we are using a map, so we have to give a key genre.id. Save. And yeah, this is good. And down we need description. So after this div, let's create a new paragraph element. Here we'll just call details overview. Save. Now you'll get the description over here. Yes, good. Because if I go to movies TP, Spider-Man. Okay, it's going, should render the image. Some issue. Okay, it took some time, yeah. But yeah, it is giving the title, the release date, language, release status, genres, and then some description. And down we have to show the similar movies, so whatever that's related to Spider-Man. So for doing that, first we have to call the API. So const similar we await get similar movies of params dot id. Save. And we will get all the similar list. Then here we'll just for two divs, we'll just create here we will give h2 save the div or for each movie I have to return code. We'll just div. Why it is not working? And it should be it will be similar to the page component. So here we have image, then the source will be uh, like now this time the source actually will be same. It will be the base URL plus uh, movie dot poster path. Save. You should see some similar movies over here. Yeah, they're coming, but my internet is slow, so yeah, they're loading slow. And here after run your div, body, then h5 title. For each image I want a title, so hard height. Save. So this is good. And I just want all of them to be like a flex, and I want them to be wrapped. So I'll just add the classes here. Not here, I'll just add the class here. So class name be flex, then flex wrap. I'll just give gap 3. Save. And yeah, this is very good. If I do full screen, yes, you're getting similar movies. And let's give some margin, because this is actually getting like merged with this one. It is looking like that. So for getting some like keeping it separate, give some margin y as 3. Yeah, this is still better. So this is actually good. So if I click on fast x, then you will see the description, the fast text, the title, everything, description, and then similar movies for the fast text. I go for some other movie, Transformers or John Wick. Yeah, Transformers. Then the transform image will load, and then you will see all the movies. Actually, I'm using a VPN because of the issue. Otherwise, it will be a lot faster, and you won't notice the difference. And it won't take this much time for loading. So it's all good. And let's work on the search functionality. So when we search for something, we have to show the details related the movies related to the search. So let's work on that. So inside pages, I will create a new folder called search, and here I create a new file called page.csx. Save. And then here it will be actually very similar to the page component. So is RFE and page. So search page. It should take query parameters, because when you search for something, it should actually go to okay. Let me tell you the functionality, like how it should actually work. So this is how I want to implement. So when we search for something, when you click on this button, I will redirect the user to slash movies movies slash search, and I will just give the query and some text, or like whatever that's there here. Will redirect the user to this particular URL, and it will render something based on the search page code. So that is what I was thinking. So first, for making redirect functionality, we have to go to the header component. So inside this header component, let's first we want some interactivity. Previously, whatever we did till now, they are server components, but this will be a client component, because we need this interactivity. We have to store the data, and we have to do the redirection. So we will just mark it like use client, and then here first uh, we will just keep track of the search text. So when a user enters something, we have to store the information. So search text, set search text, and then I will use state. And initially the search text will be like this, and then just call the router for redirection, use router, save, and then okay, next slash router. This is good. And there's some error. Router, next router was not mounted. So first, so uh, when input gets changed, we have to update the value, right? So change will take the event, then we will set search text dot target dot value. So it gets updated, let's comment out this next router. For example, if I search text, save, and expect, as this is the client component, you can check the logs from here. If I enter something, you can see it is getting updated. So that is what we did just now. Then when a user submits this form, I want the user uh, the page to be redirected to the search page. So here in the form, we have to uh, attach the function. So E takes in the similar way, then we'll call the handle submit function. We will pass the event. So when you click on search, and you can see the page is reloading. So for avoiding that, what we will actually do is we will inside this handle submit function take E. We will just prevent the default action. Save. Now if I click on search, okay, it is still acting. That means it is not working. Search. Prevent default. Inspect tab. Console. Search. Why is this? So on change. Oh, it is on submit. That's the problem. On submit. Save. Now if I click, okay, yeah, you can see nothing is happening. Even if I enter something and then I click on search, nothing happens. So that is what we actually want. And then so if there is some search text, then we will call router dot push method. So let's uncomment this router and then do router dot push. Use router. Actually, I want the use router from navigation. Next slash navigation. Save. Then here I'll just pass slash search question mark query to dollar search text. Save. Then now if I enter something like Harry and search, okay, it is actually redirecting to slash movies slash search question mark. That means it is a query parameter, and then the field is query, and then value is Harry. So this is good. Now we can actually work on the search page. So here first we will get the parameters. So or we can just like params, and then first we will get the search text. So for save it like search text, then search params dot query. You can see it is query, so we'll call param dot, and then we will get the movies. Const movies await get movies. So this will take search text, and then it will give us the movies which were related to the text. Save. And then for rendering movies, we can actually render them here, but if you want to render, like, you can directly render them, like for example I can just call them like in the same way. For example, in the page.jsx inside app, not here, inside page.js, I can just copy the code and here I can put it, then search results, save, card is not defined, let's import the card, save. Yeah, based on the search parameter you're getting the movies here, but there is some issue here. So if you want to add some sorting functionality, for example, sort by the release date or sort by popularity or sort by ratings, so this component actually becomes uh, interactive. So it should be interactive, so it has to become client component, but we are actually making an API call here. So if you are making an API call inside a client component, then there is a chance of exposing API key. And we are actually having API keys. So that is a issue. So what we will actually do in this particular situation is like we will abstract like the client side interaction into a separate component, so that this will be server component, but whatever that's rendered will be that will have to be rendered, it will be rendered inside a client component, and we get movies inside server component, and uh, we will just pass the movie details to the client component, so we don't have to expose, so we won't expose API key. So for that purpose, I'm just removing this code and I will just create a new component. So here we will actually create a new component and we'll call it. So let's name it search results. So inside components, just component called search results dot text, and here rfc save, and in search it should actually take text, then I'll tell you why. So call this results, then we have search text and movies. So let's text, then please save. So we are getting the both of those, and here we will first initialize a variable called const filtered movies, and it is a client component. So let's mark it client, then let's create a state variable called filtered movies, that filtered state, and should be okay. It will take initially the value will be movies. So um, after we will have a select button over here, and when a user selects something, then we will filter out the movies and we will update this filtered movies list. So initially so when the page is loaded, we want to have some, and then will set and save here. Right. Let's work on the JSX. So a div, do it another. Or I will have a h1 top search self or search text. Save and should see this, but there is no array. Why is it like that? There is some problem. The state is actually not coming properly. Movies slash search fine. Then we are getting params dot query. Then we are passing search text. Okay, search text. Call the text dot log search console. And okay, it is undefined, so it is not coming here. So here params dot are passing search text. Okay, calling not having search text, then throw an error. Okay, follow the link and have API. Watch. Oh, it is actually not params. Instead, it should be search params. That save error. Okay, now it is working fine. And I want this to be inside our quotes. So for having it and for having this inside quotes, I will just quote, close it. Then we'll put this at and as well. Then you have quotes. Yeah. And we can have some, and it will hold some list of cards. So we will have it inside a flexbox. Then want all of the items to be like justify content action y 3 next 3 save, and then if last name column save, let's have a select element. So for this sorting thing. I'll just go to Bootstrap, search for select default, and I just want a basic select. Get the full screen, and yeah, this is fine. Copy, and then I'll just paste it here, and then form select, and then fine selected. Let's remove it. Then here we can keep it like sort by if, and then for values, like we need to sort by release year, and then popularity, and then we can sort by ratings. Save, go back, and yeah, you have these things. And for the values, let's change it. Instead of 1 2 3, let's keep it like these year, and then popularity, then ratings. Save. Or actually, inside, if you check the backend API inside TVNVV, it should be something different. It won't be like release year, popularity, or ratings. It will be something like release date, and then for popularity, it will be popularity, and for ratings, it will be vote average. So I'll just maintain according to the API so that it will be consistent. And once we have this, okay, after this div, I'll just create another div, and then I want to like show all the filtered movies based on the word Harry. So here I'll just call this filtered movies dot app, and then return card component that's imported. Then key will be movie dot id, will be something similar, but dot id. We will just give the movie as movie. Save. And it will give us a card of all the elements. Yeah, you can see that. And it is a flex box, so be inside a flex box. Gap 3. Save. Yeah, this is looking good. So for Harry, you're getting the movie like movies related to the word Harry. This is actually good. Let's check the sort functionality. So when you click on this, so when the value gets changed, the movies must be sorted according to that. So let's add this on change handler. Filter movies of dot target dot value. The class will be fine. Okay. So let's create a handler from handle change, or okay, it is actually filtered movies, and okay, filter movie. It will take the filter, which is nothing but the value. For example, if it is release year, then it will be a release underscore date. So that will be the filter. Then we will just in some sorted. Initially, it will be empty array. Then we will use switch case. So the key will be the filter, and then the value may be release date, or the value may be popularity, or the value may be vote average. Save, and then the sorted piece will be like use destructuring operator, sort a comma p. Then at the end, we will just set the filtered movies to sorted movies. That's how we achieve the sorting. So if I select popularity, it's not working. Let's see that. Okay, set filtered movies. Filtered movies is actually coming from here. So that is good. So let's refresh and then we will check. Still not working. Back. Inspect tab. Let's see if there is any error. Okay, I believe this method is not being called. So on change, sticking event, and then e dot target. Good. Filter movies. It's actually going here. Then filter, save, and let's check it. Amplify, just put popularity. Yeah, it's coming till here. And then here in this case, we have release date. Okay, this is good. Dot sort. We're taking off b dot release date and then date of a dot release date. Good. The default break. Okay, we need to keep it actually here. That's the problem. Set filtered mode. Yeah, we kept it actually inside the switch case. That's why it's not working. Now if I just sort it, yeah, this is working. So even if you go inside any particular movie, you will get all the recommendations. So let's see what we have done till now. So this is the movies.db. If you want to keep it inside a fluid a regular container instead of a fluid container, so you can just go to header and you can remove this fluid This will actually look better. Yeah. So this is the header, and then you are getting the list of movies over here. And then if you search for, go for some movie, then you will see the movie image, and then the similar movies. And if you search for some movie, for example, Avengers, you want to see the movies related to this keyword Avengers, then you can just click on search, and it will actually give the Avenger related movies. And you can just go to some particular movie. Okay, fetch failed. Why? Okay, there is some network issue again, or the VPN issue. But if you actually refresh, yeah. So Avengers Infinity War, and then you get the image, and then you have the similar movies over here. So that's it for this project. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. So that's it for the project. I hope you all enjoyed the project. So we have done. So in conclusion, throughout this tutorial project, in conclusion, through this project, we have taken an exciting journey into the depths of web application development using Next.js. So we have built a dynamic and feature-rich movie recommendation application, which not only enhances user interaction through customized content, but also showcases the powerful capabilities. Yeah, voila. So that's it for the project. I hope all of you enjoyed this tutorial. Uh, so that's it for the project. I hope you all enjoyed this project. Thank you for watching.